Hi, I'm Midge Shoemaker, and today is day 38 of my doing 100 days of YouTube videos and celebrating myself. So, yay! For day 38. I am half asleep, so I apologize. I came home from work and I laid down on my couch, and even though I haven't fallen asleep, I feel like I did or should, or both. Anyway, so today I was thinking about being proud of myself and celebrating pride in myself and pride in my work and pride in the things that I have accomplished. And it's kind of an interesting thing for me, the whole being proud of myself and celebrating being proud of myself and my accomplishments. It's one of those words that I struggle with the definitions on. I really do. Because so many words have so many different definitions, different meanings, and it's all based on the context of how you use them. And in some cases, like in this today, I'm just proud of myself that I managed to somehow make enough money to pay to get my um, crown replaced, or at least half of it, because the dentist is letting me break it into two different payments. And I'm just proud of myself for going to work and for um, trusting myself and trusting God and making things work in my life, even if it's not necessarily how I want or the way that I want, and getting myself to do things even though I don't feel like I have the energy. And it's like my body is telling me the complete opposite. And I'm like, okay, but I need to do this. I need to be responsible. And I'm proud of myself for not giving into my depression and letting the overwhelm take over, for not letting the anxiety get the better of me. I'm proud of myself for all of those things. I think those are good things. Those are good accomplishments. Those are changes that I have been struggling with that I'm slowly making. I still struggle with. I mean, it's a daily battle. But I'm proud of myself for having that battle, for being willing to fight, for being willing to get up and keep going, and not always giving in. I know I give in quite often, more often than I would like, to my overwhelm and depression, but I'm so grateful for the days that I haven't. And I worked really hard last week, and I didn't give in, and I was thinking about it today, and I'm so proud of myself for that, because I was able to pay for the dentist, and I didn't have to get help or assistance from someone else. I didn't have to like push the appointment out later. I didn't have to do any of those things. So I'm proud of myself. And then I'm kind of stressing about like all the bills that have to get paid this week. And then I realized, hey, it's the same amount of money I made last week. If I could do it last week, I could do it this week. And it kind of just got rid of the stress and the overwhelm and the worry about whether or not I can do this. I'm like, I can totally do this. It's totally manageable. God is going to help me do this like he always does. And I'm really grateful for that. And I'm proud of myself for listening to those positive thoughts in my brain, and for focusing on the positive things, and for seeing myself doing stuff and being like, yay, I'm proud of myself for doing this. I did this. This is a good thing. So, yay. But I also have that definition issue that I mentioned, because when I was growing up, a lot of people talked about pride in a negative fashion and not a positive fashion. Like in church, the pride cycle, and people just um, rely on the arm of the flesh and think that they can do it all themselves, and they start becoming wicked and doing horrible things. And just in society in general, people are like, they talk about being too proud to apologize, too proud to admit that they made a mistake. And I think that's probably where that saying comes from: you can be right or you can be happy, kind of a thing. And just knowing people that it's like, oh, they're just, you know. And sometimes I think I have that bit of pride too, which is not necessarily good, where I think I know better than everybody else. And I have a friend from a bus yard. I adore her. She's wonderful. I don't mean anything bad, but it's hilarious to me that she thinks that she has all the answers for everyone's life. And if everyone would just do things the way that she tells them to, everything would work out and they would be fine and happy. And I was like, yeah, okay. Like, but it doesn't always work that way. And I'm like, you don't always have answers, and you don't know what's going on. And I mean, people can tell you what's going on in their life, but you don't know how they're feeling. You don't understand their background. And even if you do, it's still their choice, and you get to love and support them in spite of that. So, um, anyway, it's just, that's one of those like pride things. And for me, growing up, I was always told that I was responsible for other people, and I always felt that I was responsible for other people. And if they failed, then I failed. If the relationship didn't work, then it was my fault. If, they got in a fight, then it was my fault, and it was my job to fix it. It was my job to make it all better, which meant I had to know all the answers. And even if I didn't, I had to pretend I did because I had to fix everything. That was my job. So I kind of have that pride in my head, like my friend. I don't always verbalize it like she does, but I do have that where if everyone would just do things the way that I say they should, then everything would be fine. I can't even get myself to do things the way that I say that I should. So there's no way I can get anybody else to do it. So that is kind of a pride that brings me down, that gets in my way, that prevents me from seeing reality. So I kind of have both of those. I really do, where I think that I know all the answers and I know what I need to do, and I'm just not doing it. And if I would just do it, everything would be fine. And maybe I don't know all the answers. Maybe even if I did all those things, everything would still be the same that it is. It would just, help change my attitude or something, but it wouldn't change my situation. So I I don't have all of the answers, and I need to remember that. So that's, that humbling thing, and understanding my relationship with God and myself, and not necessarily being too proud to ask for help, or too proud to and I have asked for help when I've needed it, and I have told people what's going on in my life so that I have support with what I'm doing and things that are going on in my life. So it's not like I'm too proud to ask for help, but I also feel proud of myself for going to work, for putting forth the effort, and knowing that if I do my part, that God will do his part, and that if I'm working and putting forth an effort, that other people are more willing to help because they can see the effort that I'm trying, and they're like, hey, we'll help you. But I also know that if you continue to just ask for help and you're not willing to do anything, after a while, people are like, hey, I've done everything I can do for you. It's time for you to do stuff for yourself. At some point you become a burden if you don't learn how to do for yourself. And I saw that in my biological mom, where she stopped doing for herself. She stopped taking care of herself and the people she was responsible for, and she continued to ask for help constantly, and people helped her, but eventually she had to find new people to help her because people got tired, myself included, of always having to be there to help her. And it's sad, and I understand that she needed help, but I couldn't. After a while, I couldn't, and that was me. I couldn't. So kudos to the people that could. Thank you for the people that were willing to do that and to step up to where I couldn't do something, and I'm grateful for that. And I realize it's not my place to judge how other people choose to live their lives. I'm just saying, for me, I can see that I'm like, I don't want to be dependent on other people. I know we need other people. I can't do everything myself. So in a sense, I will always be dependent on someone. I will always be dependent on God to get me through, to make up the difference. But I can celebrate my successes. I can celebrate that I'm putting forth effort, that I can see my progress, and I can be proud of myself for my progress. I can be proud of myself for my effort. And I think that's a different kind of pride. I think that's more of a self-esteem kind of a pride, and this like positive reinforcement kind of pride, not a I'm better than everybody else kind of pride, and I don't need anybody else to help me kind of pride, and I'm gonna just get myself in trouble kind of pride. Like I said, I got both of those. I know I do, and I sometimes am so prideful that I think I don't have the negative side of pride, because I'm like, oh no, I'm because I always feel like I'm the doormat. I let everybody do whatever they want. I don't have that. I'm not proud about anything. So, yeah, that's not true. I have all those thoughts in my head. Just because I don't verbalize them doesn't mean they're not there. Doesn't mean I don't think things like that. Doesn't mean that I don't think I know better, because sometimes I do, and I'm usually wrong. But I'm not wrong about myself, I think. That's not true either. I am wrong about myself sometimes too. I am not perfect. I am far from perfect. And I think anytime that I'm judging someone else, I'm definitely wrong, because I don't know that person in their situation. And that's it's not a positive choice, and it doesn't build relationships. It builds walls in between relationships. So, but I still have those thoughts. Doesn't mean I always act on them or express them, but I have them. I'm trying to learn better, really. Oops, swallowed something funky. Sorry. Um, and I know right now I'm just kind of rambling and my thoughts are just all over the place because I'm super tired. But I'm also proud of myself for doing these videos, for sticking with it. This is like my fourth set of 100 days, which is just amazing. I think by the time I'm done with this 100 days, I will have done a video a day for a whole year. So that's pretty impressive. Yay. That's kind of really impressive, actually, because there's 356 days in a year. And so, yeah, I think by the time I get to day 56 of these videos, it'll be a year that I'll know where I started from, right? Probably sometime in July or August at this point. But I don't know how many more of these videos I will be doing, 100 days of whatever, but I am proud of myself for doing them. I am proud of myself for being willing to learn from doing these videos, or learn from the experiences that I have that I get to share in these videos. So just lots of things that I can be proud of myself for doing and following through and sticking to it, to like, okay, this is proof to myself that I can do things just one day at a time, a little at a time, and it works and it adds up every day, and it's beneficial, and I'm grateful for that. So these are things that I can be proud of. So I can be proud of myself today, and I can celebrate being proud of myself and my accomplishments, even if they are little measly accomplishments. But they're big to me. They're huge compared to where I was a year ago, and compared to what I was willing to do and not willing to do. And I still remember when I first started doing these videos, and I was like freaking out, like shaking, and I'm like, I can't do this, I can't do this, I can't do this. And I would just be like, okay, God, help me through this, help me through this. And like, oh, okay, mini panic attack after I'm all done with it, get the anxiety all out of my system. And now I actually look forward to doing these videos. So it's quite the change in myself, and I'm proud of myself for that change, to be that much more confident in sharing these videos. It also probably helps that there's only a handful of people that actually watch these videos, so it's not like I have a gazillion people judging me and telling me things. But I'm brave enough to put the videos out there in case that many people wanted to. I don't think there's a gazillion people out there, so that wouldn't work. But I know people that have like 100,000 or a million views or whatever. And I was like, I mean, I've seen videos that have stuff on there like that, but I don't actually know those people. I should clarify that. I'm like, I've seen videos that have that many hits to them or views or whatever, but I just end up being one of the lemmings that go along with that too. I don't know that I will ever have any views on any of my videos, but I am proud of myself for having the courage to put these videos out there and to do that. So to do this, I guess. So I just decided I wanted to celebrate being proud of myself and my accomplishments today. So yay, I can be proud of myself in a positive way and not be full of pride in a negative way. It's one of those complicated, confusing definition word things for me, because it's trying to see that there is a positive side of being proud, that it's more like a feeling or emotion that's not really positive or negative. It's just how we choose to use it, how we choose to view it, how we choose to respond to it. So in this case, I'm hoping that I have more of a positive view of being proud of myself, and not one that is building walls and separating me from other people, but one that is helping me see myself clearly and celebrating myself for just being me, and for doing all the things that I set out to do, and becoming somewhat more self-reliant, and but also still grateful and aware that I need other people, and I need God in my life, and I can't do all these things by myself. But just knowing that I have that support helps me to continue to move forward. So there you go. That's what I have. If you like these videos, you can like, subscribe, share with someone else if you think they'll like it too. I hope you have a fun day celebrating yourself, and a day full of gratitude, and maybe do some writing.